So I have been thinking about something lately, and it has actually really gotten in the way of me making other content. So I decided I'm just gonna sit down and just spill my guts. And I'm not gonna do it in like a script format or anything, like I'm just gonna talk from the hip. And I'm not sure if I'm even gonna post this online because I am very uncomfortable doing so. So I'm gonna take you back to the beginning. But, for the heck of it, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. Maybe some of you might know this, some of you might not. I lost my job December 4th, I think. Maybe the 6th, I don't remember. Yeah, it was the 6th. And I lost it. It is not that I quit. I didn't quit. I lost my job. And it's embarrassing, so that's part of why I don't want to talk about it, but I am smart. I know I'm smart, but I don't apply myself well or right, or I don't know how to. And it's I can know all of the ways to be organized and on time and efficient and not distracted, and I can't execute it. And that could be because of my ADHD. That's been my diagnosis since I was 16, and it has helped. I do take medication for it. I have done CBT with it. It helps. I am able to see cognitive distortions and just impulsive actions, and it helps, but it never felt like it was it. And I always thought that was because my little sister has ADHD, and she has the H. She is so hyperactive, well, she was when she was younger, and my hyperactivity, it all was inside. It was internal. And I went undiagnosed until I was 16. She was diagnosed at 4, So there was how many years that she was diagnosed and I just went unnoticed. And it was actually that they thought I had depression at first, and then we went and saw a clinical psychologist. It was just and I think that she also has ADHD. I took a test, there was actual tests that needed evaluations, and it just, I don't know, it made sense at the time. I was never able to find something that worked to manage it all the way, I guess. And I mean, medication isn't gonna fix everything. I know that now, but as a child, as a teenager, I expected to take that medication and be fixed. Be able to go to college and do all my homework, and everybody else wanted those pills so that they could do all the work, and I couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. That has been a common theme in my life. I'm 33 years old now, and I still am not getting it. I'm still late for everything, and it's not cute. It's not a funny little late, oh, she's 2 minutes late or 3 minutes late. No, I'm late. I can't tell time. But I can read a clock. I can read an analog clock. I know how to count, but I can't perceive time. And that has been my number one struggle with work. That work, school, across the board, time management is hard for me. So I do lots of things to try and combat that. I have bullet journals and post-it notes, and I've got calendars everywhere and clocks everywhere and timers and alarms, and it still gets me. It still gets me every time. Greg has found ways to work with me instead of pushing me to get out the door. He actually has ways to work with me. He does so much for me to get us out of the doors. So I lost my job, right? I lost my job and I was dumbfounded, but I wasn't because I saw it coming. I was just complacent, and I loved my job. I loved my boss. I loved my coworkers, but it wasn't serving me. It was not serving me at all, and I was not serving that role. I checked out. I checked out because I hadn't had a raise in a while, and there was no structure, and that I didn't want to ask for the structure because I was afraid that I would fail at it, but I'm in not having the structure, I failed. I need structure. And I got my work done, but I wasn't myself anymore. I wasn't performing like I could have been, or I knew I should be. I knew I was capable of. But things happened and I lost my job. So here I am, 33, unemployed. I've been unemployed for so many Christmases. So yeah, I got hit hard this year. I didn't have any money for toys and stuff like that, so it kind of sucked. I always feel like a failure. So Greg is on the spectrum. We've known that since 2014, 2015. I cry so much, guys. I'm gonna interject here with this. I cry when I feel any type of emotion. anxiety, anger, happiness, fear. Like, it's my instinctual reaction, and it's because I can't manage my emotions. I feel an emotion and it bubbles up and it gets so intense that it just comes out here. Okay, so Greg has siblings on the spectrum, and it just, like, we figured it out in 2014, 2015, and at that point I looked at some of the characteristics of autism and felt like they aligned with me. I really felt like it defined me, but then there were other characteristics that were, like, so not me. That I thought. Okay, so at that point I was like, I'm not nonverbal, I can communicate, I can read emotions, I can read my emotions, I can read others' emotions, I can pick up on these subtle shifts in emotions that other people can't pick up on. I am very, very empathetic, but that stuff really affects me too. So I didn't think that was it. And then stimming, I twirl my hair a lot. Like, literally, when I'm not making a video, I am twirling my hair. When I drove down to Florida, when I moved to Florida with my sister, she drove in the car behind me, and she said the entire time she just saw this. And I don't know if this is stimming. This doesn't feel like stimming. This is like people twirl their hair. I didn't have any specialized interests or, like, things that consumed me. I had social situations and encounters all the time, and I just didn't see it then. And then as time progressed, I had Emerson, and becoming a mom was very, very difficult. There were lots of things, like sensory things that I didn't expect, like the noise. The noise is the biggest thing, Like, I love him, but sometimes he just doesn't know that, like, him being loud, like, hurts. It physically hurts. It hurts in my head. It hurts in my skin. It just hurts. It hurts. I don't know. So I just, Greg had it, and then we started to see these sensory-seeking things in Emerson, and it all made sense. I never questioned it. I never questioned myself. Fast forward to losing my job last December, and I was sitting at home feeling like a failure, really hating myself, which is normal, and I saw a YouTube video from Yosemite Sam. I'll link it in the card and in the description. She is a female on the spectrum, and she was diagnosed late. And I just aligned with it. All of it was there. Every part of me was in that video. And that's when I realized that the original studies about autism, were mostly conducted on boys or males. There weren't that many female participants. And we think that the diagnostic criteria is skewed toward male stereotypes, moderate to severe stereotypes even. Like, if you are, you know what? Let me put a disclaimer right here. I am not speaking on behalf of the autistic community because I am not labeled as a part of it yet, and I do not want to speak on behalf of people that I don't know if I belong. I want to belong, but I don't want to overstep boundaries. And I've been so in my head about making this video because the few people that I have told have already rejected it. Like, no, of course you're not autistic. Like, you don't look autistic. And I hate that. I hate that I automatically get that because I'm female, or because you think you see my life, but, like, you don't see my struggles. And when I complain about them, like, I feel like I'm whining. I have some things that are more than just quirks. I have some things that are, like, getting in the way of my life. So I went on a deep dive like I do. I found a new interest. I found something new to learn. That's the best way to say it. And I love learning. I love learning so much. So I went straight in, and 24 hours later, I felt like I was an expert on females on the spectrum, especially adult females. And there's all types of things that I didn't know, like just the way that it presents differently, and that females mask, and that females use different parts of their brains for socialization. So, like, the brain scans that they were doing for the boys didn't even work for the girls because our brains just literally function differently. And it all made sense. it made so much sense that I was like, yeah, I'm going to my GP. I have an appointment anyway for my ADHD medicine. I have to do a med check every 90 days. I'm going to go in and talk to him. And like, I really respected my doctor. That was past tense. I respected him a lot because he is the first doctor that treated me as a patient with ADHD first and substance use disorder second. And that has been a game changer. By allowing me to treat my ADHD, I've been able to really make big changes in my life. He's the first person that actually like just listened to me and wasn't like, oh, you're an addict, I'm not gonna give you that. He heard me, he saw me, he heard me, he listened, and it was great. It's been great for like 12 years. I've been treating my ADHD with him specifically for 12 years. So I also thought that he might understand things about the spectrum because he understood how ADHD is a developmental disorder and so is autism spectrum disorder. It's not a mental illness. And I just thought he would get it. And I was nervous, and I know that when I get in those situations, I freeze. I have a hard time speaking and I cry. You guys know. So I brought Greg. I was like, I can do this. Like, I have all of this information and I know that this is right. Like, this has given me my answer and has already provided me with so many tools to help myself. I wanted to pursue a diagnosis so that I could give other people an answer. Like, here, this is why I'm like this. This is why I do the things that I do. This is why I do the shitty things I do. And it's not that I don't care or want to be different. Like, this is just how I am. And I'm sorry. I feel like it's an answer. It's a nice little answer in a box, you know? Neat little box, and I want to be able to give it to people, and I don't know if I ever will be able to. Because I don't really, I do fit the, I don't know. I don't fit the DSM criteria. I really don't. There are parts of it that are just not, I cannot say that that is me. So I found a profile online from a specialist. Tanya Marshall is a specialist in females with autism, and she does specialize in adults, and she has a profile online that she has kind of developed. It's not an official diagnostic tool. It is just a screening tool that you can use, and it's just all the unique traits and characteristics that she's seen present in females. I'm going to read this specifically from her blog. It says, females with Asperger's syndrome experience their symptoms at varying levels. So while some Aspian women are highly introverted, others are not. Many women would not meet the formal criteria for a diagnosis due to their coping mechanisms. Masking. They would be defined as subclinical, residual Asperger's, or otherwise known as broader autism phenotype, BAP. Females with Asperger's syndrome or autism tend to be discriminated against due to the wide spectrum of abilities or levels of functioning that exist. The majority of females do not receive a formal diagnosis until their adult years. Research shows that everyone has autistic traits. Out of a 100-piece jigsaw puzzle, everybody on the planet has a couple or a few pieces. Those that have 60 pieces are said to have broader autism phenotype, BAP, and those with 80 or more pieces are diagnosable or diagnosed with the condition. So out of 100, if you have 60 puzzle pieces, you have the broader autism phenotype. And if you have 80 or more, you have diagnosable or diagnosed autism. Well, she listed this entire profile of female traits that she's seen, so I went through and evaluated myself. I did the screen, and I gave each one a point, so I tallied it up. I could have done my math wrong, but there were 268 points total, and I had 201, which would be 75%. So I'm just like all over the place. Oh my gosh. I'm seriously all over the place. My doctor, I went in on Monday, and I brought Greg, and I got nervous and cried like normal, and I don't know, I couldn't get it out, and he didn't ask me any questions, and I was going there for a referral, mind you. Like, I know he's my general practitioner, I know he's not qualified enough to diagnose me. I wasn't going for a diagnosis, I was just going for a referral to a specialist. Not just a psychiatrist, like a specialist. That's what I wanted. That's what I asked for. And he told me, and I mean, I've never seen this man get so like serious and off and like off-put. And he's like, Megan, I do not think that you have autism. Greg said, I don't think you do. I swore he said, you do not have it. He said that I have feelings and people with autism don't. So my tears mean I don't have autism. My dysregulated emotions, all of the internal stuff, you didn't even ask me about it. Oh, I was so mad. I cried more. And then Greg was like, maybe he thought that he was trying to comfort you. Like, I thought that I was afraid I had autism and I was crying because I was afraid. I don't know. I didn't see that. My doctor referred me to a drug and alcohol counselor. Drug and alcohol clinic, a substance. Why? Dude, why? Oh, there's a good psychiatrist there. I asked for a specialist. I asked for someone that specialized in adult women. And it ain't you. Advocate for yourself, guys. No one knows what is going on inside except for you. Oh god, I hate this video. Okay, I'm done. So I got very uncomfortable making this video because I was highlighting all of my struggles, all of the things that I am embarrassed about and ashamed of, and it was not fun. It was not fun because I feel like I'm sitting here crying and whining about first world problems, like things that don't matter, things that if I just tried harder, if I just applied myself, if I just followed through, I could get it. But I am 33 and I am not getting it. I'm not. I've tried and I have failed, and I'm going to find resources, community resources, and hopefully I will get a diagnosis. But if I don't get the diagnosis, I don't care. I am going to follow through on the other things I have learned. I think I'm in my head because I feel like I'm speaking for a group that I'm not a part of, but I am. I don't know. This is me, guys. This is this video is hard because I am showing like all of my neurotic intricacies and it's embarrassing. But this is me. This is who I am, and this is my struggle, and I am not moderate to severe, you know, but this is interfering with my life. It's debilitating at times. There are times when my depression gets so bad that I will spend days in bed or self-harm or just, and then there's other times when I'm fine, but like, I do really well in this environment, in my home, and with Emerson, like I'm spending so much time with Emerson and engaging with him more, and I don't have that pressure of going to a job. I had a job interview today because, you know, money. I need to make money. And I have an option for possibly like an online position, teaching ESL through another person on YouTube, Danny. And I'm actually going to pursue that because I have been so much more in my element since I have not been working. Waking up at 8:30 without an alarm. Like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. I wish I had been doing that forever. And it feels like it is something that is just becoming part of me because I wake up excited. I wake up excited because I get to spend the day with Emerson, and I wake up excited because I get to make YouTube videos and do work on the back end, and like I'm really enjoying it. So I don't know. Sorry. I got interrupted.
I know you're filming.
It's okay. No, you don't have to go. I'm just filming an outro.
Okay.
I don't want to share this video, but I'm going to. I don't know how much of it I'm going to share because I think I just recorded like an hour of me whining. An hour of me being vulnerable. Because it is hard for people to accept that I am struggling this much sometimes. And I can tell that. Like, I know people don't understand that I can't perceive time. I know. They just don't get it. They just think I'm always late. They think I don't care enough. They don't think I'm not prepared enough. Like, I don't plan ahead. It's different. I don't know. I don't have an excuse. With Greg's help, I am much better. And I could get better. So I think that's also it's like a double-edged sword. I know I can improve, if not like completely, like at least a little bit. And then I feel like how much of this is just me not trying. So yeah, I had a job interview today. I'm all over the place. Okay. I had a job interview today for an office position, and it's one that I'm super qualified for, and it's very similar to the last one I had. But I don't feel like I will thrive in that type of environment, but I need to make money, so I need to figure something out. And I'm going to keep working at YouTube. I'm going to have awesome videos with Greg coming up about like antisocial personality disorder and like the DSM criteria and just how his antisocial behaviors present. And I have stuff coming up about Suboxone and the tapers. They actually revised the taper, like the recommended taper thing, and just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to continue to keep working on that, and I hope that this will continue to grow, because this is like what I'm most passionate about. This is the place where I feel most comfortable and most fulfilled. And it's weird because like I've never been this comfortable in front of people, but like I'm in front of my camera, so I guess it makes sense, but I'm like so nervous of putting this video out there because I feel like I look like a crazy person, crazy and or entitled. But
you can edit it to cut out the most crazy bits.
Censor my crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
I get worked up because it's very hard to. It's hard to sit here and be like, I can't tell time. I can't do this. Like I get fired from my jobs. I'm not performing well enough. Like.
Oh no! Don't forget that it's always hard to understand someone else's lived experience. Like no matter how easy or hard that is, like so it's not only you struggling to present it and be understood, but it's like it's a common human problem.
Yeah, I had said earlier, like, no one else can be in your head. No one else knows what's going on in there.
Right.
I don't know. I might explore this topic in future videos. I might not. I just really wanted to get this off of my chest. I wanted to talk about it because I've wanted to talk about it since December 6th, but I couldn't. I got self-imposed, couldn't because I said so. But that is all I have for tonight. If you liked this hot mess of rambling video, go ahead and like it and leave comments and make me feel better about the mess that I am, because I need external validation and it would feel nice right now because I feel incredibly vulnerable. But yeah. That's all I have for today, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.